Okay, well, I'm going to start here. I'm going to start the bike back up here in just a couple of seconds. And anyway, just mute me when you see the noise. And by the way, I'm going in on I-10, speed limit is 75. The right-hand lane, most of them are doing 80. If you see me in the left-hand lane, that means I'm doing 85 or 90, just FYI. It's going to get a little crazy. It's going to get a little crazy out there. I would like to try one thing real quick, though. I know I'm probably boring you all to death. Is there a way to swap cameras?
So you're the presenter?
You mean turn it around?
Yeah.
You can. Touch your screen. You can hit switch view.
But you want to be you want your camera to be the most.
Yeah, I want to show the front view.
Yeah. If you touch the screen, it comes up.
Hang on. No. Okay, on my phone, I get a mute, stop audio, share, participants, and
there's nothing over where it says leave meeting.
Oh. Okay. Wait, that's
Okay.
Okay. How bad are the bugs? Because it looks bad on my end.
No, it looks good.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, I figured y'all might have more fun than that. And Brad, if you would, if I start interrupting the meeting, because of whatever, I'm just distraction, just go on and click me off.
No, I've started the recording for you. You want me to mute you while you're riding then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As soon as you hear me start the bike up, and you'll be able to hear the bike start.
Okay. And then
just mute me.
Okay. Then I'll unmute you when you stop, or maybe you can do that yourself. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but as long as I'm reading, I really don't want to be jacked with it. I just want to hear the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Later.
Be safe.
Well, this ought to be interesting.
Yeah.
And he's just taking us all on his bike for a ride. That's incredible.
There you go.
I didn't think Harleys went 90 miles an hour.
Well, he may have a good tailwind from the sounds of it.
Exactly. I was going to say you got a tailwind.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be distracting looking at him.
Yeah, it's awesome though. It's like watching him on his video when he's participating at home. He's just backwards.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to pull a wheelie or something. Make it exciting.
Oh, don't tempt him.
Well, hopefully he's not listening too much and he's focused on what he's doing. So
Yeah.
Come on, let's split him.
No. You don't encourage him.
You got the left lane and the right lane. Use the left lane. That's all at Mercy side.
how wide is the shoulder?
Shaking his head.
Oh goodness.
We can commentate for him. We can actually act like this is Les. This is in Les's head. Okay, let's try. Go around this vehicle. Why is this traffic so slow? Maybe I should go around them.
Jay Spree said he was stuck in traffic somewhere also.
That's right. He says hi to everyone. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I put on there Gomer says hey, so
So Keith, I came in the middle of this, and it sounded like you got a new job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got a job offer from actually a friend of mine who is the manager of O'Reilly's in a little town next door, and they offered me a position, and with all benefits and all, and
Nice.
It was too good to turn down. I've known the family for probably about 4 years,
Mhm.
and it was I saw the husband, and I was talking to him because and he said, I asked him how important he was, his wife, and he goes, well, she's still managing, she's always looking for good people. And I said, I raised my hand, I said, I might be interested. He's go see her tomorrow. I went down there tomorrow, we sat down, at her desk, and she said, I'm just going to offer you everything. She said, and I talked to my district manager, and he said, give him what he wants. She said, if he's been a cop that long, he knows what to do and how to
Mhm.
treat people. So hire him. So I got hired on the spot, and I gave him a 2 weeks notice, which ends this coming Thursday. And then I'm going to go to another department and just work like as a reserve officer. So I keep my commission, and but it's kind of turning the page for me a little bit, and you know, it's a kind of a new adventure. So I hope I'm up for the challenge. So
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Congratulations.
thank you. It's not about the money. It's about doing something you enjoy. And it's funny because I am the fourth guy that rides their motorcycle to work. So we were joking about starting a little O'Reilly's motorcycle club.
That's
But we all
awesome.
have different days off, but we get a kick out of, all the motorcycles in the parking lot. We have one Harley, 2 Yamahas, and one Honda. So, we got a mix. I'm sorry, one Suzuki. We have a mix of all bikes, but yeah, it's just kind of funny. But one guy says his wife's trying to make him sell his Harley, but that's the only thing he's got. He's not getting loose of it. And I said, well, my wife rides. So, he goes, oh, I envy you. So it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it, but anyway.
Oh,
Good. I'm
excellent.
excited for you, Keith.
Thank you. I'll keep y'all up to date on as it's going along, but it's just I take baby steps, one step at a time, and
Mhm.
but I worked for AutoZone part-time about 10 years ago. I worked from for 7 years part-time, and I just enjoyed the customer contact and made a lot of sales and try to treat the customers like I want to be treated when I go in the store. So,
Yeah.
And I had when I left there, because I got promoted at my sheriff's department, on my customer base, were all kept calling me, we'll do anything, come back. And I just said, I with the promotion, I had different chores to do. And I said, I can't do it. And the promotion was too good to turn down. So, but I'm back at it and chiseling away, one day at a time. But
Cool.
Monica's glad I'm not out in the field as much as I was, because it's getting really bad out there. So,
Mhm.
and I made a promise to my grandkids that I wanted to be alive before I graduate from high school. So that's my goal.
Awesome.
So, anyway, who's hosting the meeting tonight? I did not read the fine print.
Well, it looks like, I guess I'm stuck with it since I set the meeting up. Usually I turn it over to Les, and then I just sat back and let him do his thing, and he's pretty good about taking over, and I just kind of sit back and laugh, at everything. So, but he's kind of busy writing, so.
That would be tough. It would be tough.
It would be tough, and he's got a lot of wind noise, so we had to mute him so we didn't get too distracted with that. So.
Right.
I sent out the prize for the scavenger hunt for the bookmobile, and he should be getting it the 4th. So,
Who won that?
Young something.
Okay.
I think I have it written down. I might have
Yeah.
taken it with me.
I knew we had a couple of different things out there, so I remember that there was the bookmobile, and I'm not even sure what the latest one is. Is that a Oldsmobile, I think? Yeah. So I was kind of hoping somebody might come across that one here pretty soon. Those are always kind of fun, the challenges to get out. And my big thing is I usually kind of forget what the challenge is when I'm riding and I'm just out
Yeah,
around. I get home and it's like, shoot, I passed 2 of them. I didn't even think about it. So.
Right.
But so we had the scrap running yet? I see.
Can you repeat that, Brad? I didn't hear it.
Oh, I said, do we have the Strat running yet? Did the fuel pump come in?
Oh, I did get my fuel pump in, but this whole weekend I have not quite felt like going outside. And then this morning I got my second shot, and gosh darn it, my arm is a little bit sore.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
I didn't cry too much.
Just
No,
a
the fuel
sore
pump
arm?
is in finally. Well, I got a headache, but I think that's allergies. This allergy season is kicking my butt.
Okay.
Pretty much every spring does. But at least I do have the pump in finally. Got a couple of gaskets new on that, and maybe tomorrow evening I'll get the Strat back in business.
Cool.
Good. I was looking at Les had posted all the mileages for everybody for the last month, and I saw your comment on there that one bike was still down, so you still had the Rocket that had the miles. So I'd kind of forgotten about your fuel pump issue because I hadn't read anything about it lately. So
Yeah, I'll try to take a lot of pictures as I go through that. I'm not quite as cool with tripod and video cameras and all that some of the people that I am learning from do. But I'll take some pictures. I got some good lessons learned already. I gotta clean up that auxiliary tank. There's a lot of crap inside of there. I haven't got that cleaned out yet. Ooh, Les got a little close on that truck.
so I'm not familiar with the Strats. What is the auxiliary tank then? So is there multiple tanks in there? Does one gravity feed into the other?
Yeah, the gravity feeds into the auxiliary tank. The auxiliary tank is directly underneath the seat.
Okay.
So take the seat off. You have the two frame members that run fore and aft, and across them is a brace. You got to take that brace off. That's what initially gave me so much darn trouble. I couldn't get the screws loose on that thing, even with an impact wrench. So 10 minutes with a 2-pound ball peen hammer and a chisel, and I finally broke those suckers loose. And then they just came out just twisting with the finger. The threads were all nice. The tops are pretty boogered up. But man, that was some sort of great Loctite that Yamaha used right there. Good on them, those turkeys. Anyway, and then I'd ordered a rebuild kit. Quite a few folks had told me on the forum here, and even some on Facebook too, that, oh yeah, just order those things. They're all made by Mitsubishi. They go in the Suzuki's, Kawasaki's, a bunch of different cars. So I ordered that one. It came in, it's the correct diameter, but the one that I ordered is not the one that really did fit. It was about a ½ inch too long. I thought maybe I'm just not jamming it up inside the housing good enough, but I took it apart several times, tried to get it back in there. It's just too long. Plus the bottom is not set to go into the piece that Yamaha has on the bottom. I thought, well, maybe I could do without that. In the end, I decided, no, I'm just going to package that thing back up and send it back. And I bit the bullet and bought the entire assembly from Yamaha. It is a 2006 model. It does have 121,000 miles on it. I might as well replace everything and just kind of go that way. And then it took forever for that daggone part to get here from Wisconsin. It went to Wisconsin down to Georgia in about 10 days. And then it sat in Georgia for another 14 days. And then when it left Georgia, evidently they sent that up on the Appalachian Trail with some backpackers because it took another 2.5 weeks to get here after that. I don't know. I thought a lot about writing corporate Yamaha about that. That's completely unsaid. Even USPS would get here a whole lot quicker than whatever means they decided to send it.
We've been having a lot of issues with FedEx at work. We sent a package out, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago to Stockton, which is about an hour south of us. And it took 9 days and went through Champlain, Illinois.
Wow.
I was thinking they probably use the same shipping. They probably use the same shipping service that a certain Indian dark horse took.
They probably use Uber, and they have to chain link it all the way across the United States. Someone looked at it and goes, "This is not the right address."
Maybe we should buy a whole bunch of maps and send out to people, because obviously the geography isn't quite the,
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't take that course in school.
oh, funny.
So now it's all my fault that the bike's not running now, so.
Okay. Yeah, I was just came back from Lawrence, Kansas. My daughter's in college and competes in track and field. So I was down there, and the other day after work, I was kind of browsing and I ran across the Facebook ad, and they had somebody's cleaning the corner of their garage and they had a whole bunch of Roadstar parts. So I came back home with a trunk full of stuff and kind of excited about that. I had some stuff that nothing I needed, but a lot of stuff that I would like to have just on hand, because, you know, I'd like to pick up another bike someday and try my hand at painting and maybe set up and make a solo ride and just kind of tinker with something, and there'd be all parts I could use for that. So it was a good weekend. I was kind of excited about that.
I had a darn good ride down to Florida. Week before last, I went down to do last weekend camping with some of my grandkids. I bet I saw 50 bikes for sale along the sides of the freeway, out in somebody's yard and all over the place. There's definitely some good deals out there, I'm going to guess. Now I know some people with their Harleys want about $8,000-$10,000 more than that they're worth, but still, there's bikes of every size and shape out there. I saw several Victories. Yeah, it's just a sign of the times, I guess. A lot of people still hurting because of this darn COVID stuff.
Yeah, buddy of mine just sold his cross country. He has a Sporty also that he kept for around town, but me and him have done a lot of miles together on my Strat and his cross country.
I bet his cross country is a whole lot more comfortable to ride than that Sporty.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, out of the 30 bikes I've had, I've only had one Harley, and it was a 82 Sportster, Ironhead 1000 cc. I thought at the time as a young sailor, man, that's an awfully big bike.
It was kind of funny that the guy
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, it was kind of funny. The guy I was buying the parts from, he had the Roadstar, and he goes, man, I should have kept that bike. He said, that was a good bike. He said, I bought the Harley, and he goes, I was riding home. He goes, and I heard something fall off the bike and go clink, clink, clink down the road. He said, I never did figure out what it was, but he said, he said, you know, the idea of riding with one hand and holding the bolts and tightening them with another, you know, and I said, I didn't know if that was, you know, just kind of a brand bashing kind of thing, or if there was any truth behind it. He just kind of laughed and said, yeah.
Isn't there a special class they send you to when you buy a Harley to do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I had a friend right before I retired. I had a friend of my sheriff's department. He was a court officer, and he come up to me and he said, "Hey," he said, "I was thinking about you the other day." He said, "Over the weekend," and I said, "What's that?" He said, "I was over in Arkansas, and he said I saw a bunch of rice along the side of the road," and he said, "Keith must be here." And I said, "Yeah, that was me." I said, "Don't you know why I sit on the side of the road?" And he goes, "What?" And I said, "Wait till all the Harleys come by, and as the parts fall off, I'll put them in a bag and take them home." I said, "The only thing I need now is a frame and a motor, and I got a full Harley." And he just looked at me and he goes, "I wasn't expecting that." I said, "Well, hey, you ride Harley." And so, I mean, it was on good fun because he's a great friend, still a good friend, but we just joke around a lot. But he wasn't expecting that. He just like, "Oh, wow." He said, "That was good." I said, "Oh, well, at least we can have fun and not be mad at each other." So,
Yeah, well, I'm hoping Les is not taking too much offense to this, because he is going 90 miles an hour.
Well, I was thinking
Yeah,
he was
knock
the
his
Harley
cameras
guy.
off.
He was the Harley guy, but he couldn't complain too much because, you know, he gets a lot of ribbons. So
yeah, it's all good fun. You
it's
know?
good. It's good. Hey, and if you're happy with what you ride, it doesn't matter what it is, what make, what model, just get out there and have
Exactly.
fun.
Yeah, just get out there and and do what you're supposed to do as a rider, you know?
Is anybody gonna do the distinguished gentleman ride? You gonna do it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sign up for it this year since it's a virtual type of thing.
Yeah.
Still gets me, that shouldn't be that way anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're all distinguished gentlemen, so I mean, you know, but I can't really take off except for the rally because don't have vacation time, you know, coming up, but look out next year.
I saw the post, somebody had put that out there and I forget who was, I apologize. What is that exactly? I guess I didn't read it or follow it too much, so.
It's for prostate cancer. They've
Oh,
got
okay.
this ride every year that they put on. It's all over the world. It's not just here. The big idea is to dress up all dapper, get on the oldest motorcycle you got, and go out riding. If you got to wear a helmet because of the laws, do that. But a lot of the guys will wear some fancy hat and whatnot. It's kind of fun, big camaraderie, but the whole purpose is to bring more awareness to prostate cancer
Okay, nice.
and get to
Yeah,
see
it'll
some
be
really
fun.
cool bikes.
Yeah.
That's what a couple of years ago, I can't remember how it was I stumbled across it, but I don't know if you guys have heard of the motorcycle cannonball. They
Yeah.
ride vintage bikes. It's not across the country, but it's usually a fairly long distance. And there just happened to be a guy that I know here in this small town, an ex-Iowa wrestler that has one that was supposed to ride in it, but they were coming through Anamosa, Iowa, which is just about an hour north of me, and they've got a motorcycle museum. That was their overnight stop. I forget why I didn't get to go up there to see it, but if I remember right, the vintage of bike has to be something in the early 20s or older, somewhere in that.
Wow.
It's either 1939 and older or 1929 and older, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And they ride it, this is a 600-800 mile journey usually, something like
Yeah.
that over the course of about a week and a half.
Yeah, some of those bikes can get up to 35, 40 miles an hour.
Yeah. I'm thinking everybody complains how bad the stock seat is, that they need the Mustang or the Ultimate or whatever it is. Like, I've seen some of the pictures of these bikes, there's definitely some tough riders to navigate that for a full week.
Yeah, it gives a whole new meaning to Iron Butt.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I couldn't do it.
Their goal a lot of time is to do 100 to 150 miles a day.
Oh,
Okay.
And it takes so much longer than it takes our generation of bikes.
Yeah.
Two of them got stolen a few years ago out on the West Coast. They stole the whole trailer, and they had a couple of old Harleys in them, if I remember right.
Oh,
They got them
geez.
back though.
Oh, wow.
The trailer was gone for a couple of days, and the police found it in some impound yard somewhere, locked up. Not a police impound yard, but somewhere else. They got the bikes back. That was pretty amazing. There was no damage to them.
Huh.
But I guess somebody figured they needed to get rid of those things in a hurry before they get caught with them. Pretty hard to sell something of that particular vintage.
There's not a big market for that. That's a very certain buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because the stuff that I had read, I mean, it's not like you can go down to your local parts store, and pick up a plug or a chain, some of that kind of stuff. And it's like, almost like rolling machine shops along the way to keep everything going and to fix things.
They do. And the Hoka Hay is another one that's a pretty big ride. Not quite as many vintage bikes, but it's definitely a rally. You got to hit the right marks. You can't get to your last checkpoint too soon or too late. That way they keep control of people wanting to speed through. But every year somebody hits a deer.
Really?
Yeah, that happens
car.
quite a lot. Yeah, somebody goes down all the time. I think now you have to carry the spot trackers with you.
Yep.
That way leadership or somebody can keep tracks of you. And you can set those things up to send out every so often. It'll send a message, I'm okay, as you're going along. But I followed a couple of buddies that have done that. One of them, she hit a deer in the Rockies, and she just had some bruising, no broken bones. Tore up her bike pretty good, but the folks down in Denver, I'm trying to think what the name of that Harley shop was. They picked up her bike. It was on a Sunday, and they had her back on the road Monday. So that's one of those, I'd say most of the Harley dealers across America, they are somewhat well known for taking care of their Harley riders. And they got so many of those darn shops, you're going to find a good one somewhere. Not the one closest to me, mind you, because they're lousy. They're at the very bottom of the list.
Well, that's good. They take care of the riders. That's good. That's good networking.
Yeah, I've always, now that I am of a certain age and I'm in an area where there's a large number of dealerships, when I bought the Rocket back in 2013, I had 10 bikes on my list. One of the things that sold me on going with the Triumph dealership is their after the sale service. I get a bike to ride when I have to drop off my bike, even if it's 3 weeks. They give me a loaner bike. And that's just almost unheard of, except for the Triumph and BMW dealerships. Yeah, most of these Harley guys around here, they absolutely laughed at me when I said, oh, no, our liability won't cover that. Well, I got my own insurance. I'll sign your waiver. Yeah, oh, no, we can't do that. Yeah, you can. You just won't.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, especially after the thread. I don't know how many of you guys have been watching it. What was it? Buck Fan or whatever that's got the Star Venture that had the bearing go out. And that bike has been in the shop more in the last year than it's ever been on the road.
Been there an entire year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he took it out, just a couple months ago.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
He's very frustrated.
Yeah.
Frustrated.
Yeah, I
How many
can't
of you
blame
guys got bikes that's got key fobs?
Not me.
I do.
Just one there. Yeah, I noticed that. I just saw the review of the CVO Road Glide that Steve did down in Florida. I'm on a few motorcycle forums. I'm seeing a definite uptick in the trend of riders that hate key fobs. Nobody says nice things about them on the Triumph forum. We've had a couple of guys here on the Star forum that's had a couple of problems, maybe not as many as some of the others. Some of the Harley guys complain about theirs. I know it's a sign of the time. Almost every new bike, it seems now, it's going to have a darn proximity key fob and a button to push to start it, no keys. That kind of breaks my heart, man. The prices go up on the bikes, and I don't know, it seems like it's kind of losing some of the charm of riding a bike when there's so many electronic doodads.
My
Yes,
first
I
bike
get-
without a Kickstarter, I was pretty pissed off at.
Who
I know
needs the
that
battery,
SR
right?
Well, that SR 400 Yamaha had for several years there, it didn't have an electric starter. It was kickstart only. I thought that was incredible, but it didn't make it. They discontinued that a couple of years ago. That was kind of a good looking old standard kind of a bike, but pretty much with new everything else except no electric start.
I don't know.
Is
if
it
it's-
possible to switch over from electric start on a V-Star 1100? Go back to kickstart with it?
I'm sure it is possible. I don't know if there's kits out there you can do it, if you'd have to fab stuff yourself.
Probably would. I always worry about that damn starter. Always makes it clunks, right? When it starts up, it has that clunk when it engages, and then when you shut the bike off, there's a loud clunk. I'm just waiting for it to break at some point.
That might be your flywheel.
It runs
Maybe your-
smooth.
Well, I'm definitely not the mechanic. Otherwise, my Strat would be running right now. I would have said, screw it, I'm gonna go out there and put that fuel pump in.
No judgment.
Of course, the one advantage though is you do have a bike that's, you know, what's lighter, so you can at least try to find a hill and push it, and it's got a manual transmission, so you can
Right.
at least pop start it. So
Yeah, it's
Right.
tough trying to do that with a Strat.
I'm thinking just a car, not necessarily just, you're talking about, you know, automotive and, you know, the key fobs and the push button start have been around for
Yeah.
what, probably close to a decade in some of the vehicles and stuff. So, I mean, the technology is there, but yeah, it's just,
Well, where I work at, and kind of in Keith's old world right there, and law enforcement, I have a 2017 Chevy Colorado now. It's a work truck, no key fob. It does have electric locks, but you got to operate them from the inside. So I got a key start, and I got to use the key to unlock that thing. Nobody's broke into my truck. However, 2 to 3 times a year when I had a Nissan Sentra or a Toyota 4Runner, and Pretty Pillion, she's got her Hyundai Elantra, we get the vehicles broke into. They get ransacked, and evidently these kids that are doing it are looking for firearms. I had some pain pills that are worth probably 40, 45 bucks a piece on the street market that they didn't even touch those, and they're right there in my center console. The only thing she's ever had stolen was her prescription glasses. She wears those when she's night driving. And we don't keep our firearms out in the car. That's just silly. But the way they were breaking into our cars is with a key fob they put together at home. So evidently the FCC only license a certain number of frequencies for the car manufacturers here in America. It's kind of standardized.
okay.
And you just send out ones and zeros for your unlock code over these things. Now there's a huge number of permutations that you can do for unlocked vehicles. Well, they're not stealing the vehicles. They just simply walk by, they got their hand in their pocket, they hit the one button, and their little electronic device sends out a signal over all these different frequencies, and it blasts out just hundreds and hundreds of unlock codes. And whatever cars unlock around them, they just hit them real quick, run through the glove box, center console, look under the seat, no guns, they move on to the next. They don't slam doors, they shut them real gently. And because they're doing the unlock code, any alarm that's on there is deactivated.
Okay.
So, like I say, since I've got my truck that doesn't have a key fob, it hadn't been broken into once. And all my neighbors, I live in an area, a bunch of townhouses here. So we got a lot of people jammed together. Like I say, 2 to 3 times a year, these kids come through, and the housing office warns everybody about it. Keep your doors locked, keep everything chained up in your backyards, like lawnmowers or stuff like that. But people were worried.
Meeting, but I couldn't get on there. I didn't remember the.
Yeah, we had
Hey, it's starting to rain and your windows are open.
we had a bulletin about that, and so we were
I got it.
taking extra precautions because we have key fobs on our squad cars, and so we were having to do what I consider preventive maintenance, you know, on that when that was going around.
Say hi to everybody before you gotta go.
Monica says hi.
Hi, Monica.
Hey, Monica.
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm just lovely. How are you?
Just
I was trying
lovely
to get on
too.
there. I couldn't get on. I couldn't find the code, so I couldn't get on there. It's all good though. We'll see y'all.
Later.
I'm gonna close your windows or I'm gonna go home.
Okay.
What time are you getting off work?
Just a few minutes, 20 minutes, 8 o'clock tonight,
I thought it was 9.
Sunday night.
You guys close early tonight? Awesome. All right, I'll see you in a little while.
But, yeah, we got bulletins about that kind of stuff, and they were having issues with being able to unlock, you know, vehicles and stuff. So, yeah, don't leave your firearms in your vehicle overnight. But I admit that we can have an advantage because we got 23 acres and nobody sneaks up on our property without the dogs being aware and all that stuff. And whenever we hear the dogs going nuts, that's when I know somebody's not supposed to be there. So, but we also have a lot of coyotes and stuff like that. So we're out in the boonies, and it's the first few times when we lived out there, Monica had never lived in the country, and she would hear all these noises at night, and and she goes, "What is that?" And I said, "Oh, those coyotes." And she goes, "Will they come after us?" I said, "If they will stalk you, and if you're alone, they will." And she said, "Oh, let's all huddle together so they won't come around." And I go, "That's okay. I have my two best friends with me." And she said, "Who's that?" I said, "Mr. Smith and Mr. Wesson." They don't like either one of them. And so, and so she goes, "Okay, I feel better now." So anyway, it was just it was a funny moment, because I said, "You never lived in the country before, have you?" She said, "Heavens, no." I said, "Welcome to the country."
Keith, you should have told her it's not the coyotes I'm afraid of, it's Bigfoot.
That's when I was doing my long swim. Aren't you afraid of gators? I said, "Nah, the sharks keep them away."
Yeah.
Excellent point. Excellent
I
point.
thought a gator was going to get me when I was camping last weekend. Had to get up in the 2 o'clock hour of the morning, had to go to the John that was probably 300 yards away, and got my sandals on. I'm walking there in the dark, and I can hear the raccoons. Are everywhere in a campsite in Florida. And you hear everything moving in the brush, and I can't see it. I'm looking left and right. Then all of a sudden, I hear this alligator snarl. And I reached down to grab my Leatherman, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I got a 2.5-inch blade. What's that going to do against a gator? Well, no, I just walking by a dude's tent, and he was snoring, and it sounded like a damn ferocious gator.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, Digger.
Hello,
Hey,
Hey, Digger. Glad
how
you
are
joined
you?
us.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah, a little late today.
We thought you were bringing the girls. That's what we was all waiting on.
I thought you joined Canadian time.
Yeah,
Les is
oh,
back.
Les is back on the road.
Oh, we got
Hey, it
Les.
is, Les.
Yeah, Les is out someplace. He's taking us on a ride. So,
Yeah, he went out to his property, his new property.
oh, did he buy something?
Yeah,
Okay.
where they're gonna build and retire.
Okay. I knew he had been looking, but I guess I didn't realize that they'd actually bought something.
Yeah, I knew he was talking about, but I didn't know he'd bought either. So that's good. He said he wants to get out of the city.
Well, especially that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, guys, I hate to end my part. I've got to run. But anyway, it's great seeing y'all and talking to y'all. And
But before you go, I want to
Yes,
show
sir.
you guys what I send out as a prize. You guys are the only ones that are gonna see it. But it's a shirt with
Ooh,
Yamaha.
wow,
oh, nice.
Oh,
that's
nice.
very nice.
Where'd you
Very
find that, Pat?
Oh, I bought the patches online. I bought the shirt and
Nice.
seamstress put them on, and I had me made one too, and I sent one off.
How do I
Nice.
steal that? How do I
Very
steal
nice.
one of those?
You know, they're too expensive.
That's why I'm going to steal it.
Very nice. Very, very
I
nice.
needed 2X. Just saying.
That's what this. That's what mine is also. So.
All right, guys, y'all take care and be safe out there. Okay.
You
Good
too,
night,
Keith.
Keith.
All right, you too,
I'm
Keith.
gonna head out also. I'm gonna go grab some dinner. It's getting kind of hungry here. So you guys have a wonderful evening.
All right, Pat, you too.
You
You
too,
too.
Pat.
Bye.
Take care, Pat.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is cool.
Indeed.
So was it his scavenger hunt? Was that what it was? That his goal, somebody won that? What was the reason for it?
Because it was hard to find a bookmobile.
Okay.
The ones that are really hard to do that somebody succeeds on, he'll send them out a prize.
Okay. That's cool.
trying to find an Oldsmobile, even one that runs. I mean, gee. No, one of my buddies has got he's got a 72 Cutlass. It's not a 442, but he's restored that thing, and gosh, it's beautiful. I just need to call him up and say, hey, I'm gonna come over just so I can take a picture of your car. I won't talk to you. I'll just get your car.
Well, I kind of felt bad because Mikey C, he's on the Roadstar forum, so I've known him from over there, and so when the tractor one came up, it's like, well, shoot, I've got an old tractor out in the barn, and I'm just gonna pull it out and pull the bike up next to it, and then he posted his, and it's a more modern tractor, so I was kind of giving him a bad time, and he's like, no, I'm gonna withdraw. It's like, so I was like, okay, so we'll use my picture, but his call for the Oldsmobile, so. I figured that'd be somewhat easy. I mean, they had some new models up until what, 5 years ago, or
Actually, I think it was close to 15 when GM shut Oldsmobile down.
has it been that long?
It's been a long time. It went away before Saturn and Pontiac and Hummer. I really thought when GM was shutting the doors that they'd get rid of GMC, since it's the same thing as Chevy, except just a little shinier.
Sure.
I'm surprised that GMC made the cut, especially with all the EPA regulations forcing the manufacturers to increase their mileage, or they either get fined, or I don't know what all the penalties were, but. And now that kind of rule is back on the books again.
Mhm.
I don't have anything against electric vehicles. I just don't want one.
Right.
Rode the Zero bikes and had a blast. They were fun. And that was several years ago. And I know they've increased their range on those. And I missed out on a great opportunity several years back. The SEALs have got some of their Zero dirt bikes that they can ride underwater. They use those for crossing creeks. They're not using those like jumping off the side of a ship and riding into the beach. That's not its purpose. But I would have loved to have been on the test and evaluation for that particular project.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
find out until after it was done.
You know, and I think it kind of depends on where you're at, you know, because I can think of a couple of charging stations in the area, but there's probably a dozen or less connections. So, you know, and like say, being in Iowa, we don't have, the population base. So maybe there's, some of the bigger cities are more equipped for that kind of stuff. But, the charging's limited, your distance is not great. So it'd be great for a commuter car, that you want to drive back and forth to work. But, you start shelling out, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 or much more if you get a Tesla, and for a commuter car that you can't go across country, and I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like it's there yet. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but
There's something that's, oh, go ahead.
It's about 8 to 10 grand to replace the battery in them. And
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
be replaced every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, some of those
not
have gotten a lot better, but still.
Yeah. You're paying a ridiculous price for the vehicle to begin with. And then, because you're rich and you bought it, they'll nail you 5 years later for a battery.
well, and
Oh, yeah.
what are the, they talk about recycling and the environmental impact, but what does it take for the batteries? Batteries have always been a real tough thing environmentally to deal with. So,
Oh, especially lithium.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
these
nastiest
actually
thing you
have to
can
be
throw
done
in the dump.
manually. What'd you say?
That's the nastiest thing you can throw in a dump is a
Right.
battery.
Yeah, there was a show I caught some time ago, like a couple weeks ago. They were saying that there's this huge, they can see it in the next 5 to 8 years, all the electrical vehicles that are out there right now, those batteries, like you said, are going to come due and they're going to have to be recycled. And the way they're doing it now, they actually have to have somebody manually disassemble the battery before they can take the components and recycle them. And they're not set up for it. Nobody has set up for it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Riding those darn electric bikes is pretty fun. One of the things that I noticed back then, we had one of the R1250 RTs was leading the pack, a BMW gas engine, and in the back was a KLR 650 running tail gunner. Those two bikes were quieter than what the Zero electric bikes were. People say
Really?
electric bikes are all too quiet, therefore they're dangerous. Now you get one of those relatively new bikes that hasn't been modified, they are incredibly quiet compared to the Zero bikes. There's so much chain noise and other electrical motor whirring noises on there. I kind of thought that was interesting because I thought, just like everybody else, if it's electric, it's going to be really super quiet. But that's not what I saw when they were doing the demo days on that. You mentioned Tesla. I was just thinking some of the new Star bikes, it's got that fancy infotainment center on there. Somebody was talking about how they lost their screen. They can't ride their bike. Tesla, if you lose your computer screen, you can't drive the car.
Nope.
So
No,
Just-
it's gone. That's
just-
the whole, yeah, it's the whole dashboard.
And if you think getting a key fob fixed at Yamaha is a big deal, I'm sure that probably Tesla's probably gonna bend you over pretty good for one of those.
yeah, I see this
Hopefully.
advertisement for who's got the biggest in-dash screen, and I'm like, I don't want a screen, period.
Right.
Make it smaller. I don't want that. I want the lights dim when I'm driving at night.
Yeah.
Your focus is supposed to be ahead of you, right?
Yeah, left, right, straight ahead. Left, right, straight ahead. Check a mirror.
Well, with the Tesla, right? You just bring everything up on the screen. You see the front, the back, infrared. It's beautiful. It's
Tomahawk
beautiful.
missiles lined up.
What's that?
The Tomahawk missiles all ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the battery. So when the battery goes, you blow up with it.
What was it, a couple of weeks ago? I heard it something on the news that there was a couple of guys and it was like 2 a.m. So I'm guessing there must have been drunk, that there was nobody in the driver's seat. So
Yep.
one guy was in the back, one was in the passenger seat, and the Tesla wrapped itself around a tree.
Jeez.
At least they weren't both in the back seat.
Maybe that's what they said.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking initially when I heard that, but of
Hey,
course,
teach his own.
yeah,
Nothing
hey,
in-
not judging, not judging.
Nope, not at all.
Oh, look at Les. Les is splitting. He's off in there. Off in the
He's off
emergency-
on his
Oh,
shoulder.
yeah. He's in
And at
West
the
Lane.
bicycle lane.
That's the West Lane.
Ah,
So,
well, you know, he's
who
so
had
small,
the,
nobody can see him.
who had the issue with the screen on the SVTC? I haven't seen that one yet.
Somebody mentioned they were having troubles with it. And they had to take it into the shop and get something, get the shop to fix it. I'll see if I can
I have
find
to
that one.
find that one because I know we had recently with YPE was having the issue with the fob
Mhm.
after he brought it in to get the not the warranty, what was it, the recall for the brake switch. He had that fixed, and then his fob keeps flashing on him.
And you've got one of those, don't you?
Yeah,
So how many miles do you have on yours?
26 is something like that, 25, 26,000.
So the other day, I was, like I said, I was trying to catch up through the threads. Not that I have one or plan to buy one, but something was said about the Canon lifters.
Yeah.
Like it was a known issue or something. And I was kind of curious because on the Roadstar Clinic, they talk a lot about the ZDDP, the zinc additive
Yep.
in the bike oils, and wondered if that was, if, you know, if there's been talk about that on that particular bike, if that's part of the reason for that, possibly improper lube or.
Yeah,
What's the
well,
difference?
well, actually, it's got ester oil and the ZZPT or something like that, or ZZP, something like that. The red line that American used to talk about, I switched to that about year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I always ran synthetic. I tried the AMSOIL thing. That seemed just too thick for it. And then I switched over to that Royal Purple. That seemed to be okay. YPE switched to Royal Purple right after that, or just before that. And then American was really dead set against everyone going to red line for these bikes. And once I did that, the bike just ran cooler, smoother, shifted nice. So I just stayed with it. It wasn't any much more than the M's oil or Royal Purple. Even the Yamaha synthetic was actually, I think, more expensive than I was getting the red line. So it just worked out. I mean, it was perfect. And so I just started going with that. As a matter of fact, I just picked up another 6 to do oil change here, another maybe a couple thousand miles.
Okay.
What-
So it's
What's the
running well.
difference, but what's the difference between that engine and the one that's in the Strat?
I'm not too sure. I think because they keep talking about the flat tappet. It's metal on metal, and you need a really good oil base. So I don't know if that's different from the Strat or not. I don't know much about either one of the motors, to be honest with you.
I really thought they were the exact same when I first heard about the Eluder before it actually hit the streets. And
Well, I think that's the same as a Roadstar, is a flat tappet like that as well.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
not why I
I don't
brought
know.
that up.
Yeah, and that's probably why American Bill probably talked about it so intensely like that. He just dead set against getting the Royal oils, and you won't have engine issues. I switched, I think, probably right after my first oil change, and then my second oil change. Right after my second oil change, the engine exploded.
Oof.
Yeah,
does that smell bad when that happens?
actually, there's none. Thank God, because I just got off the highway going about 85, 90 miles an hour. I just got off the highway in 85.
Yeah.
Hey, Les is home.
Yeah.
But yeah, that thing started ticking real bad, and I just got off the highway only because one, it's the exit I get off, and then started her back up, and it was ticking real bad. I revved it up. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't sound right. I'm gonna take it to the shop tomorrow. Didn't make it. It all of a sudden it just went. I mean, it just got real fast and exploded. I mean, the whole thing jumped.
Wow.
Boom! I was like, holy mother of pearl.
It just seems
Yeah.
odd that if that's such an issue that they didn't go with like a roller camshaft or a roller lifter or something on
Roller
there.
lift, yeah. Yeah, that's what everyone was saying. But yeah, this screwed up the valves, and I posted all the they must have replaced let's see, they replaced it 2 lifters, or 2 lifters, 2 valves. What else did they replace? All the spark plugs, the gaskets, they replaced the whole hardware things.
Hey, welcome home, Les.
Hey, welcome home,
Yeah.
Les.
Yeah, just made it in. Y'all rode with me a little bit over 60 miles.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm all
bud.
woozy now.
Yeah, it
How
took a
bad was-
while.
How bad was the picture, just out of curiosity?
It
It looked
we
like you were
swimming.
underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all wavy and
Yeah, that's what I
Quite
figured. It
doable.
was just off the phone. But I tell you what, man, I could hear every single word y'all said crystal clear. That part was cool.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
I heard y'all
Not
talking
sorry.
about, lane split, and then I heard y'all talking about when I had to brake pretty hard, and then I heard y'all talk about getting in the right-hand lane, right back up there in the
The left-
bicycle lane.
The left lane.
It is.
Saw you shake your head a couple times when we made comments. You're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
who was it just
Well,
last
if
week that
anybody else
got,
ever wants,
I was going to ask who
Go
who
ahead.
was it that got the new motor for their was it an Eluder just last
No.
week?
no, it was a couple 6 months ago. It was Chief Gunner.
Oh,
used
that
to
was
run
it.
for him.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it. They just posted it last week. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he had the same issue as Buck Fan, and his dealer had an extra motor sitting around and put it in for him.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's talk about luck now, huh?
Yeah.
In extreme opposites, basically the same issue, and how it was dealt with was just completely
Yep.
kind of blew me away.
Yeah, night and day.
Yep. I
Okay,
think the
guys,
difference there.
I'm gonna break out. I gotta take a pee break.
All right.
Okay. So I'm gone, and I will see y'all later.
All right.
That's
Hope
right.
everything comes out
I'm
all
gonna
right.
head out myself, guys. Have a good night. Have a good week, and we'll talk to you on the forums.
Yeah, so I've been sitting on that bike for 4 hours now.
That's
Okay,
it.
later.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Later.
Well, I'm
He
glad
should-
you're
he should-
turning his camera off.
He should invest in the pens. He can stay on the bike longer.
We need gas sooner or later.
Yeah, but that's true.
Yeah.
But then you got to take the time, go, just gas up and go.
There you
Yeah,
got a
Chief
buddy of
Gunner
mine-
did the same. His
ahead.
his bike blew up as well. He had the lifters go.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how many people tend to have such an almost irate negative attitude about anybody that pulls a trailer.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's the difference. Chief, his dealer put the trailer on, the trailer hitch on, and Buck Van, I don't know. I think he had some bike shop put it on, and I don't remember the details there, but that's that's what Chief was saying that he went to the dealer and they put it on for him. So, guess they bit the bullet on that one.
That's crazy though, that they, I don't know, it just seems so odd that if it voids the warranty and they put it on there, it's like, it would be one thing if you and I did it in the garage, unbeknownst to a dealer, but I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm not messing with that with the warranty.
Yeah.
Nope.
Wait till the warranty's expired, then do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm afraid to change the seat. They'll be like, oh, since you changed that seat, we can't cover the motor. It's like,
Yeah. Now, obviously, you got a sporty seat, and therefore you must be racing your bike now.
that's exactly right. Yep. They'll come up with some angle. You're right. You're right. You went too fast. You blew out the lights or something.
Isn't that why there's a sport mode? Don't you have a sport and a tour mode or something?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I don't think I think at the very beginning I've had it in the tour. I don't think it's ever gone in the tour mode. I think I get better gas mileage in the sport mode.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if it has to take time to go through a cycle of gas or something, a whole tank before actually, but I mean, you put it in tour mode, you could feel the difference. It's not real snappy, but you put it in sport mode, man. I get on that sucker. All these people talk. I'm afraid something's going to happen to it. So I want to get my use out of it. So I'm not easy on that at all.
It shouldn't be.
No. My wife sees the video. She says, that's it. I'm not watching it anymore. It's too much fun.
Well, that's it. I always say, it's more fun to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow, but it's really fun to ride a fast bike fast.
That's right. Yep. And it's no fun taking a cruiser in the dirt. I'll tell you that. That sucks.
Yeah, I got my Triumph stuck in the sand once. That was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, no,
Got it
sucks.
out by myself, but I went home. The first time I rode it, I got it in the fall of 2013 as a 14 model. And I did an iron butt to Denver to pick up my 3 youngest sons that are there. And we went up to Sturgis for August in 2014. On the way home, I swung through Texas where my folks are. And the old dirt track I used to race at has been closed down for years and all the weeds had taken over. And I thought, I'm going to ride my bike out there and just reminisce about that. Well, that road right in front of it is kind of deep sand. And next thing you know, I got that 900-pound Triumph stuck in the sand. It's buried up to the frame. And I just stepped off of it, no need for a kickstand. I'm just like,
Yeah,
well, dang, that
Stay
wasn't too
upright.
smart.
just sits there.
Yeah, it took me a long time to walk that thing out before I finally got it out, but it got out on its own power. But took a couple of pictures of it because I thought, well, I'm stupid. Might as well tell everybody.
But you did get it out on your own. Though that's where the pictures come into play.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't have to call AAA or anybody.
Oh my God, that would suck.
Yeah, AAA would have sent somebody out with a John Deere.
Yeah.
in that part of the world. Mom and dad's hometown has a whopping 250 people in it.
Oh yeah, definitely. But somebody, they'd be taking pictures.
Yeah, a lot of times when I go back and any of the people that were older, most of them have now passed on when I was a kid, but I still get a lot, hey, little Bobby, since my dad's name was Bobby also. Hey, little Bobby, haven't seen you for 10 years.
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah,
good
I hear
times.
that. Yep. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping I don't get that FOB thing. I mean, every time I see these things with starters and displays and nav system and all this other stuff, I'm like, man, it was amazing though, because when my engine went and I did all that posting on the forum, boy, everyone was against me. They're like, hey, listen, it happens. You're a moron for complaining about it. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's a brand new bike. It's 8 months old and it's got a blown motor. The dealer's sitting here looking at me going, we'll call my Yamaha, we'll see what they can do for you. I'm like, I bought my bike here, pal. You better replace it. And they're like, they're not replacing it. Everyone on the forum was like, just ripping me a new one. It was amazing. Actually one of the guys from another forum saw my forum and posted the long haul Paul.
Yeah.
Yep. And they were trying to get help for me. And about a month and a half later, see, it happened January 7th. And on February 9th, the dealer called me and said that they're going to start replacing piece by piece. And the dealers took everything. The Yamaha corporate came in. They're right over here in Atlanta. They took everything. They took all the parts and just said, they'll have it all fixed and replaced. And you can come and pick it up. It'll be about 2 weeks. I went over. I know the service manager very well. Man, seeing those pictures or just looking at it, how everything was just taken apart. It looked like something did explode. I mean, everything was just taken off the bike, from the top part of the engine down to the casing was just removed. And it just looked like somebody just went in there and just ripped it out. But they did a good job. They rebuilt it good. They put on nice new parts in it, polished everything up, worked really well, couldn't complain. And Yamaha said they'll give me another year on the motor. So that's where I'm at. So now I got another motor. I got the motor now that's going to have an extra year, longer than the 5 years. So we'll see what it goes. I'm hoping, I treat it good. I mean, I bathe it, hug it, shit like that. I keep it nice. Talk nice to it.
So you loved it to death.
Yeah, you absolutely.
Over
Oh,
love.
yeah.
I mean, it's okay to love your motorcycle. Just don't love it.
No.
Yeah, I remember following that thread. It was interesting to see everything that took place. And if I remember right, didn't they think that the first 500 built maybe didn't have the right assembly lube, or have they changed their mind on that? Or
Yeah, well, actually, the first up to the first 1,000, the first 500 they didn't even ship.
okay,
And then the 500 after that, up to 1,000. Like I think I'm 867. I think my number is. And then anywhere between the 500 mark to the 1,000-mile mark, they had stripped them down and re-lubed them.
okay.
But apparently, mine was done on a Monday morning when everybody came in hungover, I guess. And they must have said, "Man, that looks lubed." So I don't know. Mine and Chief Gunners, 2 people on the same forum had the same problem.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I haven't heard anything on the looter though. I've been, snooping around other forums to find, when that happened to mine, trying to find anybody else that happened to, but the only thing I could find it to was like 2 other people that happened with the Venture.
Okay.
So I don't know why it's different on the looter.
Maybe it's just a different build series.
Yeah, it's just odd, because it's, it's the same motor and it was, the 1 year, 2018. So
How many miles did you have at that point?
about 5,800, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's when they seem to go up between 47 and 68. What's that?
5,800 and it smoked?
It was about 5,800 miles. Yeah. 5,000 between 48 and 7,800. Yeah. It just went. I mean, it was almost immediately. That morning I heard a ticking noise, went away. No big deal. Cause it was like something had can't even explain it. It's on a video. I posted the video. I sent it to Buck Fan because Buck Fan kept getting a noise in his ears. He kept hearing this really weird noise. So I sent it to him and he goes, no, he said, mine doesn't sound like that at all. He goes with a big chuckle. I'm like, oh, okay. And that night on my way home, ran great all the way to work. Good hour in traffic and everything. Good 40 minutes away from here. And on my way home, it was fine. I was getting into the HOT lane. And it was making this, just like almost like an old Chevy. It's just had this, this knocking noise, like the lifters were just going bad. And by the time it got to almost the exit I needed to get off, I can hear this ticking really loud. I'm like, boy, that just does not sound right. No big deal. I'm getting off the exit. Got off the exit, and it just had that ticking noise. Went into the store, came back out, started to take off. As soon as I give it the gas to go across the street to cross traffic, thing goes bam, just explodes, and there's cars crossing me. I'm like, oh crap, this is not good. Yeah, and you know what? Thank God for the electric motor. I threw that electric motor in and got it across the street. Backed it up, went into this driveway. Bunch of people from corporate. I think it's Racetrack gas stations, Racetrack, something like that. It's a gas station here. And a bunch of guys came out and they were going to say, oh, let me help you push. I'm like, don't touch a damn thing. I don't want you guys pushing the plastic and breaking something. No way. So yeah, I used the electric motor, climbed it into their driveway and pulled into a parking spot and sat there for hours until I could find someone to come and pick it up. I had 2 trucks come and told me they're not going to pick it up. They said, I'm not touching that. Yep. And of course, I had to have that Monday. Dealer wasn't open, so I had to finally got somebody at 11:30 at night, I think it was, and got it home. And then dealer picked it up Tuesday morning, and that was the last I saw for about a month.
Now, I filed a complaint with AAA when my Strat died on me at work. I called AAA, said, "Hey, yeah, I'm here right now." It was cold. It wasn't just ultra frigid cold, but it was like in the high 30s or something. I had a nice place to stand in, get me out of the wind, and I waited and waited. I said, "Sir, it's going to be about an hour before we can get somebody there." All right, cool. I'm with you.
That's
No
normal.
worries. Yeah. So hour and 15 minutes go by. I call back to, "Hey, what's the update on that guy? Because you said that before he leaves the shop, he's going to call me."
Yep.
Okay. And I haven't got a call yet. I said, "Okay, yes, sir. We're still having some troubles here." Well, the first dispatcher at AAA that I talked to called and left a message on somebody's answering machine. Didn't follow through.
I got that same story.
Yeah, I'm like, what the? You don't know. You call the next person. You talk to a person and have their dispatcher send a truck out. Well, it was dark. Pretty Pillion is, she doesn't like to drive at night, but she's going to come and pick me up. I'm going to leave the bike out in the parking lot at work overnight. It's not necessarily the nicest place, but hey, I do have it insured, and right now it won't run. And I thought about leaving the key, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. They don't need the key. It's in neutral. They'll just winch it right up there. They'd already told me I can't ride in the cab. Why? Well, because COVID, sir, is for your safety. Oh, no, I'm good. I've got immunity. I already had it. I got my little card that says I still have immunity. At that time, I'd only had it for 9 months. I had it for a full year after COVID. And the next weekend, I got my first shot. So, hey, I'm one of the lucky ones. But no. That matters not. You can't ride in a truck. That's too unsafe. And I'm like, but what if I'm eating? Because you can't transmit it when you're eating, right? I'll even get him a sandwich. We can both eat while he takes me home.
That's hysterical.
Okay. Nothing. No, that ain't going to work. So the deal was that whoever the driver is will call me, let me know on the way, and maybe I can work a deal out with that contract driver that maybe he'll let me in his cab and take me to the house. And I just never got the call. So she came up, picked me up, and we went and we had dinner about a mile and a half away, and never got the call, and get on the freeway and start heading back to the house. And if you're not riding a bike, it's about a 35 to 45 minute drive. If you're on a bike, it's about 20, 25 minutes. I'm not sure why that is. Wind drag or something. Anyway, so we're about 3 minutes from the house and I get the phone call. The guy says, "Hey, I'm here. Where are you at?" I'm like, "I'm almost to my house, dude. You're supposed to call me before you leave your station." Well, he had came all the way from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and drove all the way up to Springfield. And my house is about halfway in between there. I said, "Hey, you're supposed to come here. Just go ahead and put the bike on." "Oh, no, sir, we can't pick it up if you're not here." Why is that?" "Well, it's a motorcycle. We don't know if you're stealing it or not." Dude, I called AAA. They got me on file. I've got all my paperwork. When you get it to the house, I'll show you my driver's license. They said, "No, you have to be here, sir." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not driving back up there. I'm almost home." And by that time, it was around almost 7 hours after I'd put in my initial call.
Yep.
And I said, "No, sir, go ahead and bring it." And he said, "I can't do that." And I said, "Well, talk with your supervisor." And he said, I'll do that. And I'll call you back in a couple of minutes, but I know that they're not going to let me pick up your bike." So after 10 minutes, I called him and I said, "So what's the verdict?" "Oh yeah, I talked to him. He's not going to let me do it." I'm like, "What do you mean you can't pick it up? Can you pick up a car by yourself?" "Oh yeah, we can do that, but we can't pick up a bike. It might be stolen." No. Bring my bike here.
Unbelievable.
And his supervisor called me. Well, this guy was an absolute jackass. He was a jerk. He said, "Look, my driver came all the way up from Fredericksburg to pick up your bike." And I said, "It's not my problem. I need my bike back here. Your driver is all the way up there. He shouldn't waste his time. He should load up my bike and bring it here." And he said, "Well, we can't do that. Where's your key?" And I said, "It doesn't need a key. Besides, it won't start. It's dead. Fuel pump or something is not getting gas. It won't start." "Well, we need it to unlock the steering." "Dude, the steering is unlocked. It's in neutral. Just put it on the bed and bring it," and nothing. The guy was incredibly rude to him. He said, "Do you want your bike or not?" I said, "I want my bike." "Then you come up here and show us that you have the key for it." And I said, "I'm not coming tonight." "Well, then you'll just have to call back tomorrow because we're not going to bring it to you." So I called AAA. I had all their information. I say, put them on the blacklist. Do not ever go through that company ever again. And so I filed a complaint with AAA1 against their own people and against that, because it's unsatisfactory.
Yeah,
You're a
that's horrible.
motorcyclist and you're stranded somewhere. I was in a parking lot, so that's the saving grace. I'm not on the side of the darn freeway somewhere. And I was pretty angry about that. And the next day, this dude shows up. I'm at work now. I'm on the other bike. And this guy shows up. And I understand why they want another person there if it's the lone driver. This guy says, "Okay, what you're going to do is get on your bike, have it in neutral, and I'm going to push your bike from behind, and we're going to run up the slope. And as soon as the back wheel gets on there, hit the brakes." Okay, so once I did that, I'm able to stabilize the bike. But if they had two people, anybody else can do it. I've also seen these guys winch a bike up by themselves. I know it doesn't look good. You've cringed a couple of times there, but I see them do that without dropping the bike. And anyway, that guy, he brought the bike home by himself, and she was here, and he unloaded the bike by himself, no problem, parked it right where she told him to, and everybody said their farewell. That guy was pretty squared away, easygoing. He said, "Oh yeah, I pick up bikes, sometimes 3 or 4 of them a week. Yeah, I can haul the bikes. That's easy. It's just it's better if I have somebody to sit on it when I push it up onto the sloping bed." Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah. I had to say my worst thing was I called AAA. I had AARP, AMA, Yamaha Yes, and my insurance company. And the only one that picked it up was my insurance company. Progressive. They came out almost immediately.
that's cool.
AAA took forever. And then finally I was like, dude, cancel them. And then ARP came out with their people. And I don't know who they sent. The guy comes out about an hour and a half later. He says, "We're not loading that thing. We can't touch that." I said, "It was a motorcycle." He said, "No, we don't pick up motorcycle like that." I'm like, who does? He says, no. He said, we can't do it. We will never do that. I'm like, I bought your plan. I bought the AARP plan that has inclusive with motorcycles. Like, nope, sorry. So I called AMA. AMA goes, oh yeah, let's see if we get somebody out there. They're just as bad as AAA. Never saw anybody. I didn't want to use the insurance company because you hear a horror story. If you use the insurance company, it's going to go up. So I bit the bullet and called the insurance company. I said, hey, I'm on the side of the road here. They go, where at? I told them, blah, blah, blah. They said, okay. He said, well, we'll send somebody up. It'd probably be about an hour. Yeah, I don't even think it was 30 minutes. They called me. The guy calls me and he says, where are you? He said, I'm at the Publix. I said, no, I'm across the street from the Publix. He said, what Publix are you at? I go, I'm over here off of Old Peach Street. Okay, well, we'll be there in about an hour. I'm like, what? And lo and behold, he was actually in the Publix parking lot I was at. I don't know what they was talking about. So all of a sudden I said, you at the Publix off of 85? He goes, oh, yeah. It's like, you're right next to me. He goes, oh, well, the instructions you gave me, it's clear across the other side of town. I'm like, no, dude, if that's you, I'm here. Come and get me. He loaded it right up in the truck. And it was the oddest thing he did. He strapped it down onto the kickstand.
Oh.
And I was freaking out. I was like, that kickstand blows, boy, I'll be pissed. Yeah. Yep. He put it right down on the kickstand and strapped her down. I put so many straps down on there. And that's actually, there's a new thread on the forum about somebody strapping, what do you do to strap her down on a trailer? And you guys see that thread that's going around?
On the strap.
Yeah, how to do the straps and everything. After that, there was even some forum talk about strapping down these bikes, and man, I did all kinds of things. I strapped straps to straps. I made sure there was nothing touching that freaking bike because it's 8 months old.
Yeah.
And then my luck, it would probably take a damn bin off. That's what I tried doing. That wasn't coming off. So I figured I'd strap it to the back of the bike, strap the back and go to the side, and we got it home fine. So I just rolled it down the driveway and called Yamaha next day, and they came and picked up right away.
How'd they
So
strap it?
They brought the motorcycle trailer. So they brought it right into the wheel chalk,
Oh.
and they clamp the front tire, and then they put the strap to this both part of the handlebars, strap the handlebars down, then strap the lower part of the forks right where it meets the wheels just before that, so it doesn't bend on the fender. Pulled that sideways, and then the back, they did the same thing in the back around the rear tire, strapped it down. They did a good job. I posted that picture too. But yeah,
Always
I was
hate seeing
afraid.
bikes like that.
Yeah, I was afraid. I was afraid that the handlebars were going to get bent because he wrenched the crap out of those. Man, I didn't like that at all. But if they're bent, I can't tell. So, but yeah, I mean, the handlebars were like this. I mean, they were just right on down. It's like, man, I don't like that at all. But it is what it is. It's home now. Got my baby back. Sucked.
Can you still do 80-mile-an-hour wheelies?
I think it's about 75, 80. Yeah. It's just a wheel breaks loose.
Yeah, one of my buddies on the rocket group there, he cannot keep his front wheel on the ground. He's when we did a rally down in Arkansas at the hub, Macro Dog Patch USA used to be. That's an excellent spot to ride down there. Everywhere he was going, he just had that thing wide open, and he was changing out front seals about every 3 to 4 months.
Oh my God. No way. I almost bought a Rocky. That was going to actually be my bike I was going to get. I went to Indian, went over to Harley, didn't like the Harley, only because it just didn't fit me. And then I went over to Indian and I almost got the Chieftain. And the one I liked was the one that has all the gold leaf on it and everything. It was really nice bike and they're going to give me a great deal. But I ended up going over to bring my Kawasaki Volca Voyager in for a service. I just bought the Cowie. I only had the Cowie for a little over a year. I think it was a year, 2 months. And brought it in for service. And I saw this bike and I was like, wow. I said, the salesman was like goofed up. And I was like, hey, that's a nice bike. I said, is that a Harley? He's like, oh yeah, that's a brand new one. I'm like, ah, cool. I'm looking at him like, looks like a Yamaha. It's like, it says Yamaha. The guy goes, oh yeah, it's Yamaha. I'm like, all right, what is it, dude? Yeah, I couldn't believe it. He didn't even know what the hell it was. It's brand new. So I sat on it, set the alarm off. He goes, yep. Everyone sets the alarm off. I'm like, all right, whatever. But yeah, I took it for a test. I didn't even take it for a test drive. I just bought it. Just bought it right then and there. I said, hey, could you take my motorcycle in for a trade? It's in for service. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't complain. They gave me a great deal. I got my Cowie. I bought it in 2016. I got rid of it, well, April 2018. So I bought it. I bought my new bike March 31st. So it's just over 3 years. It's just 3 years old now. But anyhow, I brought the Cowie for service, and they had it in there for the service on that day. And I bought it originally from them for $15,500. They gave me 11,500 when I traded it in. So how
That's
can I
so
go
bad.
wrong? No, I mean, it's fantastic. So couldn't believe it. So I said, yeah, I'll take that bike. Called my wife, said, hey, look, I'm getting this. So yeah. And then I test drove it.
Just drove it home.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yep. Yeah, it was I mean, I just fell in love with the looks of it. I just liked it. I mean, I didn't know anything about it. As a matter of fact, I called my brother Stevie, and he was like, what are you getting? Oh man, he said, you know, it's got this, it's got that. I'm like, no, that's cool. What else does it have? How do I start it? Yeah, even the dealer didn't even know much about it at the time. They just got him in. You know, he's telling me all these things it has on it. I'm reading up on it while they're getting paperwork going. He sends me off on a computer. Yamaha's got this thing with all these different videos you got to select to, to learn about the bike. And I'm like, all right, give me the keys. Give me the keys. Give me the keys. But yeah, they started it up, and I took it home, and I was like, I don't know what the hell to do. Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, it was interesting. Probably the weirdest bike purchase I've ever made. So
As long as you're happy now.
yeah, I thoroughly like the bike, and that's what I'm saying. I read all these other forums. I'm like, oh man, I hope there's somebody else's ground ones and not mine. And if they are, I'm hoping that Yamaha gets enough under their belt that I don't have to deal with it. I just take it to the shop and they're like, oh, we got this, and they fix it, and that's it. But it's like the same thing with my bike. When the motor blew, they knew what happened, and they know what the possible cause was, but there wasn't enough of them without Yamaha getting involved.
Yeah.
The Yamaha corporate had to come in and take all the parts and look at them, and then they said, okay, that's exactly. I think YPE is doing the same thing. They come in, they fix a part. Okay, that didn't work, and if that wasn't the part, they take that back out, put the other part in. That's kind of what they did with my bike. Yeah, that's what they did with my bike. And then finally, the dealer just said, you know what? We need this list of stuff. This is bent. This is not working correctly. This is damaged. Blah 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 blah. And they just, like I said, I got the list online, but I mean a bunch of things they just completely replaced. And then when they had everything else, they polished everything, every valve, the top of the pistons. I mean, they did a knock up job, man. I went back, I said, man, that was fantastic. It was great. So fingers crossed.
I wonder how the 2020s are doing, or the 2021s.
Yeah, the 2021s. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about the 2020 or the 2021s because they skipped 2019.
Yeah. Now, my Triumph dealership, they said 2020 was their best year ever at selling bikes. They got I got Triumph, Indian, Royal Enfield, Zero, and let's see, BMW. So they're a multi-brand, but he said they're having, they can keep their Rocket 3s in stock. That's not one of their hot sellers. Most people are afraid of those now that they pump the engine up and drop the weight on those things. The new Rocket 3s aren't cruisers anymore. They're like a speed triple on steroids.
Yep.
So they changed the geometry and everything else. They're definitely fun to ride, and you definitely need to hang on. Their brakes are amazing, man. You can stop so fast on that bike. That's fun, but I don't think it'd be that fun to take it cross country. Their GT is definitely not a grand touring. It's the closest thing it would be a sport touring when you look at what the definition of those bikes are.
That's right.
And I ride them. I haven't ridden them yet this year, but I'm writing Triumph. Hey, when you coming out with the actual touring of that? My bike's got 80,000 miles on it now. Thinking about doing maybe an upgrade or something. Actually, what I have to do on that Triumph, I know it's starting to leak some oil and starting to blow some smoke on startup. So the valve seats, I'm thinking, are pretty well gone. Well, I don't have the ability to fix that at all. I mean, just changing a fuel pump on a Yamaha is tough enough.
Right.
But doing all the engine work out in the parking lot in front of our
Yep.
townhouse, I ain't gonna cut it. So if if Triumph does the engine work, or if I take it up to Berlin, New Jersey to Carpenter Racing and have them do it, it's going to cost me about the same, except Carpenter Racing is going to almost double my horsepower and torque.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and a much beefier clutch too. So,
Yeah,
well,
that's
if I have to do the engine work, I might as well go ahead and
right.
pretend I'm a kid again.
Yes, yeah, and that's the other reason why I didn't get the Rock, because I didn't like the way they changed the style of it. Because around here, there's a lot of triple R's.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I do like that style. It's just that my spot in life, I need something I can do long distance, like going camping down to Jacksonville. It's normally a 10-hour drive, and I need to be able to I need to gas up the bike and go. I changed the oil in before I went because it was close to time. Might as well put fresh dyno juice in there before I hit the highway.
Yep.
And the bike went all the way, no problem. And
That's awesome.
I didn't have to add any more oil, so it's not leaking or burning enough yet from that. It's just that, hey, it's starting to get noticeable, and I know that means there's going to be work needing done soon.
Yep. Probably.
It's kind of cool on my Strat. I don't have the full maintenance history of it. So when I got it, it had 117,000 on it. I put another 4,000 on it since then. I had to change the starter relay and now the fuel pump. And of course, the back shock, I busted that sucker out. So it's just a spring right now. So hitting the bumps on the highways takes a couple of cycles before it steadies out again. But anyway, I called back to my cousin, and he was talking with the guy that owned it before. And as far as I can tell right now, the engine cases have never been split. No work on the transmission, no work on the rear end. All the guy has literally done to it is just change the oil in the tires and keep putting gas in it. I do need to change the plugs because it said, oh yeah, those plugs, we never changed those either. So 121,000, they probably need to be changed.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully you get them out, no problem. That's,
hopefully. Yeah, I won't have to beat them with a darn hammer and a chisel. Yeah, it's going to be a little tougher to do there. But I get to thinking, there's one Yamaha that seems to have been put together pretty soundly. It has been dropped, so there's a dent in the tank, and one of the fog lights was busted off when my cousin gave it to me. But yeah, it's not the prettiest bike. There's corrosion on it, but till the fuel pump went, it would still start and get up and go.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, hearing the Ventures motors, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same engine. Why is it? What's going on? What did they change internally to suddenly have several of these goofing up on them?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a shocker, to be honest. Just being that modern, that modern and that advanced, you wouldn't think. You think something would shut down before it get that bad. They just tore it up.
Yeah, and I was thinking too when I first like yours, Buck fans, and some that I've seen on Facebook on the Strat Roadliner forum, Litter, whatever. They were talking about that. Isn't it the same engine? Nobody could really come up and say what they changed internally. And I know Yamaha's got to have millions and millions of miles on that big V twin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I got the chosen one though.
Got another thing coming.
Yep. I go to the store and find something. I was like, "Oh, that's nice. Package is nice. Bring it home. It's all broken." But there's a reason for it, I guess. They rebuilt it. Runs good. Knock on wood. So it's takes me on my twisties. I'll tell you. I mean, man, I got some good roads around here and whew, peg
Awesome.
scraping all the time. Love it.
Well, I can't do that with Pretty Pillion anymore. She got real upset with me
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
And just that shock, I should have done that since you're gonna put
Yeah.
another 100 pounds on the back. I didn't even think about it.
Yep. I just hate it. I hate it when it catches me off guard. I get into the turn, all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that? Like, oh wait, it was me.
Yeah. Well, guys, I need to go to bed.
All right, I need to get the
10-4.
dinner going too, so. Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Good seeing you guys.
We'll do it again in a month.
Peace out. See everyone on the
Try to let
forum.
Dan talk more next, and we'll let Dan talk more next time.
Yeah, I'm really late getting on and I don't say much.
Yeah.
It was just fun listening to all of the stuff on the SBTC.
Yeah. Have you gotten out and ridden it all? Still got the bad weather, huh?
Yeah,
We're running in the snow up here.
Did it snow again? Because I know it snowed at our summer home.
rain for the next week.
Yeah.
We did get out in March a bit and here and there, but for the most part, it's just been up and down.
Yeah.
Not much riding at all.
Yeah, this winter's dragging on a little too long.
Yeah.
Even here it's cold. I mean, for me, I mean, now, when I get up in the morning, I go to take off and it's 48 degrees and you're expecting, 70. That's pretty cold.
I wish.
Yeah, no, I know. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. But when Friday, when it was, in the 80s, and then the next morning it's, 48, 51 degrees, it's not quite warm.
Yeah, I got in trouble. Everybody was saying I brought all the cold weather down to Florida and Georgia when I went Thursday before last. When I
Yep.
left up here, it was 34 degrees. And then when I stopped at my first gas stop, it warmed all the way up to 36.
Nice. Mm. You can almost take off one of the gators.
Almost.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
bought
gotta
the
go-
large coffee.
Yeah, I bought the very large coffee with a straw, right?
All right, guys. Good night to you all.
Have a
Good
good
night,
evening.
everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.